is. This is a weed next to my garden bed. That is a ladybug. And those little green things there are aphids, and the ladybug is eating them. Heck yeah. Alright, so last I left you all, I was showing you around my garden and all that, and I noted that there was some foreshadowing that my chickens were going to destroy stuff, and it's because I added mulch, and they used straw in their coop, so they scratched around, and my garden's not fenced off, and we're working on the chicken fence, which I'll take you up there and show you in a bit. But I had to replant this bed of tomatoes in the back here twice. This is the second time I've planted. Now, granted, I had a lot of extra tomato plants, which is good news for me. So I have replanted this bed with tomatoes now twice. Whatever was on this side is just gone, okay? It's just done for. And I'm going to probably try to pull up most of the straw. As you can see, I've done that with a lot of it. I threw it on the walkways because it's been a mess. But the other tomatoes seem to be doing pretty well. You can see there's one there that's smaller than the others. I had to replant that one as well. Here come the saboteurs. Anyway, so this bed, I had on this trellis here, I originally had my loofah gourd. There are no more loofah gourds to speak of. Both of them have been scratched up. Several of the peppers in that bed have been scratched up. I've been laying in my oregano, which isn't that big of a deal, but all of the squash that was in this bed has been scratched up, except for that one plant that seems to have survived. We'll see what happens. I had to re-sow my Kajari melons. I want to plant that marigold that I just bought in a minute. But this is the only melon that survived. Some of these little ones might make it. We'll see. Excuse me. Amber, what are you doing, madam? Yeah, you best get out of here. So yeah, as you can see, the loofah gourd is gone. So I need to replant this arch with something. I don't know what. I really want to get loofah gourds. It's just not happening for me. So maybe next year. But we're going to try this, see what happens, and then I'll show you what else I've got. As I was saying, this is interesting. My peppers look like they've been eaten by, I'm guessing, hornworm? But I haven't, is it a little early for hornworms? I'm not sure. This one looks like it's been chewed up too. But, oh, it's not a hornworm. That's an armyworm. Dang, already? Anyway, I was going to show, I've got my watermelon seedlings. I think these are sugar babies that I planted in here. And I planted just a couple because I know they're going to take over this whole bed. So, yeah, I got some sugar babies in here. And then I re-sowed some beans in that bed. And then in this bed, I showed you my okra before. It's gotten a little bit bigger. And then we've got more coming up here. And I think one other spot that I sowed has come up. And then over here, I have tromboncino squash coming up and cucumbers coming up for these two trellises. And then over there, I sowed some more squash. And then those are my habanada peppers and my onions down there in that bed, which I need to mulch, but the chickens are definitely an issue right now with the mulch, and it's something I'm going to have to work out what to do about, because I can't be having chickens scratching up all my plants whenever I mulch. So I either need to find a different source of mulch other than straw, although this year I'm kind of limited on options. I really need to do straw. And I can tell already that my garden needs the mulch, but it's just, it is what it is. Something's been eating my eggplants too. I don't know if that's chickens or if it's bugs, but that's not great. But yeah, my eggplants have gotten a lot larger. And I have room here to plant like something. Thought about putting another squash here, but we'll see. There they are again, up in the bed. Up here at the chicken coop, we have the chicken garden, which we obviously haven't planted, and I think we're going to wait. Purely because we need to build some sort of frame for this to keep them from scratching everything up before it starts to grow. Once it gets growing, it'll be alright, but we're not there yet. We also need to put all this stuff away. Yeah, we started the fence, and this is my first time ever putting up a fence. So it's kind of a trash fire. And it's not perfect. We definitely needed taller T-posts for the interim posts because they don't reach all the way to the top. But since we are not keeping anything that's going to lean against this fence in this fence, it's just for chickens and birds if we decide to get other birds. I didn't think it was that big of a deal. And it's definitely not as tight as it should be either. But we spent the entire day putting this one piece of fence up because we had I've watched a million videos, but nobody had any experience. We were trying to find the right thing to tie it to. We figured out how to tie it to my truck that wasn't going to mess up my truck. It was just a mess. So, but yeah, we got it up. One section here. It's a slow going process. Unfortunately, we haven't been able to work on it because we're trying to figure out the best method for getting the here, I'll show you. Hold on. Let me get closer. These bits. Oh, focus, please. Focus, please. It's not going to. Yeah, this part. Cutting those off to make it so we could tie on the ends. It's fine. I mean, the fence is on. It's tight. It's like I'm going to push on it and it's not going anywhere, but it's not as tight as it should be if we were to have animals leaning against it. But we're not going to. It's just for birds, to keep the birds in. We probably could add some more T-post clips. But we haven't gotten that far yet. We're going to do this next section here. And then once that one's done, hopefully I ordered a thing to hang our gate. And we'll be able to do the next section, hang the gate, and then do the other sections, and hopefully we can knock this out within the next couple of weeks. It's hard because my husband works, and so when he's working, we can't work on this, because I could probably do part of it myself, but I'm not that strong, and, so yeah. But yeah, it's not great, it's not bad, and I feel like, for having no idea what I'm doing and just learning this sort of thing, it looks pretty good. So, what do you think, ma'am? Yeah? Is it a good fence? Hopefully it'll keep the coyotes out. And then we also have this gap here, because we couldn't really hammer the T-post in next to the coop. But we're just going to put some, we're going to staple it to the side of the coop and then wrap it around and get it tied up so that nothing can get through there, because the chickens can go through there, and we don't want that, so. Anyway, yep, so here's all my remaining flock from what we lost, which sucks, but it is what it is, So Whiskey and I were out here playing, just, playing with the chuck-it ball out behind the garden. The garden's up there. And I just kind of want to give you guys a quick update on what has been going on, because I believe the last clip that I took... Oh, sorry, I'll just show you the dog. I guess the last clip that I took was of us starting the fence. The fence for the chickens, which I don't know if you'll be able to see. You can't really see it from over here. It's basically done. We have to patch a couple of holes next to the coop because we butted it up next to the coop. So we have to patch that, and then that's done. There's also a stray dog that showed up at our house that is tied over there, and I will take you over there and show you him too, because I don't know what we're going to do with him. The reason he's tied up is because he was killing our chickens. So we had coyotes and a dog, and it's been a rough start to summer, I guess. So yeah, I'll take you guys over there. But I guess as we're passing through the garden on our way over, this is my hot pepper bed. Look at this delight. That's my sugar baby watermelon. I have several plants down there. I'm kind of just experimenting to see what happens with that. Calendula flowers. My tomatoes are starting to look pretty good. That tricolor sage is looking pretty sweet. Pineapple sage down there is looking great. My oregano's insane. Just letting it do its thing at this point. My eggplants are like massive. It's kind of great. I need to weed this bed. It's bad. And then I have some beans coming on. A bean plant that's hanging all the way out. This bean bed. And then if we come over this direction, there's a weed that we need to pull. Oh, great. I got some chamomile and some basil and my tromboncino squash and cucumbers, and that squash bed is just living its best. So, as you can see, we have a fence around our chicken yard. Right now the gate's open because we haven't patched those holes in the back to keep the chickens in. You can see that little one's outside the fence. They're still working it out. It's not perfect, obviously. It's kind of wonky. But it's just for housing chickens, so I'm not that concerned. But it's done. It was the first time we've ever put up a fence. It was a real big pain in the butt, but it's done. So, also, unsure. Oh, I have another thing to show you too, but I'm unsure if you guys have ever done these wedge lock T-post systems. So I've seen a lot of people say they had success with these. I will say this, and I don't know if this is our fault because we didn't look close enough when we were pulling, but this like totally bent, and like I don't know how well you can see. It's totally bent and broken and twisted when we tightened the fence here, and it popped when this bent. So like this whole fence line is not as straight and like tight as it should be because of that. We also haven't gone through and like hand tightened anything, but that's, yeah. So, and then also, this is a little goat shelter that I picked up for a couple $100 or $150. I can't remember. But it was really cheap, and somebody was getting out of their goats, so I went ahead and got this. Obviously, we're not in the stage ready for goats, but I thought I'd go ahead and grab that because it was a good deal. And then we also got a milking stand, but that's down here. I'll show you. Detour, but here is the stray that I don't know what we're going to do with because where I live, people dump dogs all the time. Hi, bud. Hi, buddy. And the animal shelters can't take him, and he's killing our chickens, so we have to leave him tied up here. I gave him flea and tick medication. He was even thinner than he is now, which is crazy, but yeah. So he's looking a lot better. He's been here for going on 2 weeks. So obviously he gets along with Whiskey fairly well. We've given him a name. We named him Cullen. I don't know if we're gonna keep him. We may end up keeping him. It's just a matter. We'll see what happens. And this is the milk stand we bought. It needs to be cleaned a little bit, but it was really cheap also because, like I said, these people were getting out of goats, so it was a good deal for me. So we're on our way to preparing for goats. Anyway, I planted this elephant ear here, and I feel like it should be bigger than this. I think I need to water it more. It also could be because I have super rocky soil, but I planted it next to my shed here, and I thought it would be really cute. So we'll see.